The first thing that was on the list that I had was this idea of having too much automation in the sales process. What are your thoughts? Is it possible to have too much automation in your sales process?
Absolutely. I definitely have conversations with a lot of folks that want to over automate.
Hmm.
And at the end of the day, humans are what drive the brand behind your business and give you a competitive edge. Automation can give you a competitive edge to a certain benchmark, right? Once you get to a certain point, you can over automate. Human beings need to be able to do their job and communicate with other human beings at other businesses, especially in sales. If you're trying to automate an entire sales process, it's not going to be a successful sales process unless it's just self-service, and that works for you. Some people it does, where it's just self-service. They don't need a sales team. It's a simple product. Maybe it's a very low ticket price. That might work. But when it's a more complicated solution where you have a lot of competitors out on the market selling a similar solution, you've got to have a high quality salesperson to do their magic, which is selling and telling them why your solution is going to be an effective solution for solving the specific problem that they have. Automation simply won't do that. So there is a point where a human being needs to come in, do the work that they're paid to do, be the brand for your business, and drive revenue. That is their job. Automation simply can't do that. And again, the topic of AI, right? I was having a conversation earlier in one of our Slack channels. Like, at what point is just AI talking with AI between different businesses, and AI is just doing business, right? Like, they have solutions for, okay, we can automate your sales emails. Okay, then we have solutions for, oh, we can automate responses to sales emails and figure out how to filter them out. Like, at what point that becomes completely useless? And it's kind of hilarious to me. Like, maybe we live in a world like that someday, but I hope not. Yeah.
So where do you think the balance is? What's a good balance of using automation in your sales process, but not using it too much?
I think that as an operations person or a sales ops person, you have to think about it from the perspective of what's going to make better use of your team's time. Where can automation trim down time for your team? That is going to look different in a lot of different scenarios based on your process. But a few things are going to be: a lead comes to your website, they fill out a form, right? That element, all that information, all that data input, that should be automated. That saves your team time, right? Automated, put in your CRM, hopefully close. Then it's in the system. Again, another element of automation might be trigger an email sequence. Give them the opportunity to schedule with your salespeople without them having to write an email. Again, speaking from an inbound sales process, saves your team time. Nothing slips through the cracks. Those folks are getting those emails so that they can engage because they showed buying intent. Saves their team time. So elements like that, you should think about automation as, how can I remove clutter from really minor tasks from my sales team that they shouldn't have to do themselves, so that they can use their energy and their bandwidth to do what they do best: talking to people, communicating with people in a way that's driving next steps.
How would you use Close to automate certain parts of your sales process?
Prioritization, first of all. So getting those leads into the system, automating that element of it. Someone fills out a form, wherever you're getting your leads from, you're running ads, pumping them into Close. Leads come into the system, and you're prioritizing them based on specific criteria. Typically, you're going to be capturing some level of information from the lead on your form, on an ad. You're going to be able to qualify and prioritize based on specific criteria. What we'll do, I'll help a lot of folks in the sales process do this. We do this ourselves. We kind of figure out who our ICP is, right? Our ideal customer profile. And we bucket those folks into a priority smart view. These are the folks that should always have attention. You should be calling these folks. If they're not organically scheduling with you, you should always have an eye on them. That is a major element of the inbound process that I help folks implement and close on a regular basis. And at that point, your salespeople get to go in there with hyper focus and do their job extremely well and engage these people who they know are typically going to convert as a high quality customer and hopefully a higher ticket.